2024 is here and 2023 is over, and I'm going to finally rank my top 10 favorite movies of 2023. And coming in 10th place, we have Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. This movie was way more fun than I thought it would be. It's just a classic adventure movie where these characters are charming and the power sets are fun. With not only that, and I think that there's enough of a enough heart to it to give it something more than just being a generic action comedy. With it also is almost in a way about a father reconnecting with his daughter. As much as it is also this beautiful, awesome, just hilarious action movie. And it's just so filled with all this creativity, just so much fun to watch. And there's this awesome one take with a shape-shifting character. And it's just a movie that overall I think that was just way better than I thought it would be. And yeah, it's just a very fun time. And coming in ninth place, we have Nimona. I thought this movie was fantastic. And I thought that it was just a movie that is just way better, like another movie that is just way better than thought it would be, with this awesome creative style of animation throughout, as well as just having this beautiful story where it can be looked at in so many different ways, where the main character is almost like she can shapeshift. And it just gives a sense of her being just uncomfortable, but almost kind of learning to accept it. As well as just this beautiful story about, like, not necessarily like betrayal, but like kind of like where the main character is framed, and where these two kings in a kingdom. And it's just this beautiful story where it's just incredible animation and characters. And it's very funny, but I think at its core it's almost about like acceptance in many ways. And I thought it was just very beautiful. I thought the animation was stunning. It was hilarious. And it was just a blast to watch. Another just really fun, very emotional, at least more than I thought it would be, great movie. And coming in at 8th place, we have Sisu. And this is a movie where, if I were to talk about my most fun movies of the year, if I were just going by the amount of fun I'd have, this would probably be number one. But this movie is just a blast from start to finish, where it's about this Finnish prospector in like 1944 Finland, of course, obviously, and during obviously World War II, and the Nazis steal his gold. He finds this gold, and it's just him going on this brutal revenge quest with such over-the-top, gory action, where it's just like you can't even take it seriously, but you can't just help but have a smile on your face the whole time. And it's just a blast to watch from start to finish. The action is insane. And it's got this really nice central message, is how they talk about he's not immortal, he just refuses to die. And it's not about who's the strongest, it's about not giving up. So they almost have this central message about just pushing yourself and going forward, while also at the same time having this over-the-top, beautiful, blood-filled action movie that is just so far over the top, where in any other movie you'd be like, you know what, that's stupid. But you just have to accept that this movie is crazy, but it is a blast. And coming in 7th place, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, where I'm just so relieved that this movie is good, but at the same time, like, and also, I think it is not only a beautiful film filled with emotion, with our main character really being Rocket. And he has this beautiful character arc where it's almost as he sees himself as a monster, and he realized, no, he wasn't. He was just made by one. And it's beautiful. It is hilarious. And it just provides a beautiful, satisfying ending. And it's a movie that's going to keep you laughing throughout, but at the same time, you're going to be crying. And the action is just awesome. No Sleep Till Brooklyn scene is just, it's just a beautiful film. I do think my only real problem with it, and this isn't really about the movie itself, but I think just some of the CGI and sets looked a little too CGI and set-like, especially in comparison to the other ones. But in terms of a story level, I don't really have any problems. I thought this movie was beautiful. I think that the comedy worked like 9 times out of 10. I just loved these characters, and it was just amazing. And coming in 6th place, we have Dream Scenario. And if you have been on my channel recently, you will know that Nicolas Cage is one of my favorite actors of all time. And this is a movie where I think that allows for Nick to really flex his acting chops, like on a comedic level, but also on a dramatic level. I don't think like a lot of the joke people like to make fun of Nicolas Cage, which I understand he is just hilarious. He's great, but he can generally act very well in a dramatic sense, and I thought that that was done beautifully here. Where, in a way, in layman's terms, this is a movie about cancel culture, where our main character is just he's getting punished for something that he didn't do, where he's just appearing in these dreams. He didn't do anything, but because of what he's associated with, these nightmares, he is getting like bullied for it in a way. And it's a beautiful movie where it's almost tragic. I mean, like there's a point where his wife doesn't want to be around him. His kids are scared of him. And it is also hilarious. And it's almost also like how he rises to fame, but also almost how it can come crashing down. Where in it's interesting because you're on both sides, like 100%. Like, no, you know he doesn't deserve this. He's not doing these things. But at the same time, you understand. You see the dreams. You're like, I understand why they're scared of him. I understand this. And I thought this was just a beautiful film. And it is hilarious. And it has a great horror vibe to it, too, as well as just the beautiful drama. And, of course, the comedy is just fantastic. I thought this is just a great return to form for Nicolas Cage. And, I mean, I just very, very much enjoyed this movie. And coming in fifth place, we have Godzilla Minus One. I mean, if you've been on the internet recently, you know all the praise that this movie has been getting, and it is well-deserved. This was made on a budget of like under $15 million, and it looks fantastic. The characters are incredible. The story is beautiful, because yes, this is a giant monster movie, but the main central story is about survival's guilt of this kamikaze pilot who, of course, didn't go through with his mission, and he feels guilty. He feels like he doesn't deserve life. And it's about him almost, this personal story about him saying, you know what, maybe I do deserve a second chance. And he is finding happiness. It's all that beautiful story with Godzilla in it, with the beautiful, awesome action. It is really just fantastic that this movie exists. And like I said, I think it is just as much a beautiful drama as it is an action monster movie. And it just comes together beautifully. And yeah, that comes in at number 5. And coming in at number 4, we have Oppenheimer. This is a movie I feel like a lot of people are going to put on their number 1, and I completely understand why. And yes, this movie is also beautiful. The sound design is impeccable. The acting is incredible. And it's a 3.5-hour movie, and you don't feel bored at all. Well, not 3.5, it's 3 hours. But you never feel bored. You don't feel the length. And it's just this very interesting 3-hour history movie where you're just like, I want to hear about this guy. I want to know about J. Robert Oppenheimer. I want to know about Dr. Strauss. And it's just spending time with these characters, as well as just sense of dread and horror, where you see what this weapon is and you see what it can do. And it's all just blended together about, I feel like in the heart of it, it's just like about this guy. He's trying to do the right thing, but he's like, did I do the right thing? Did I not? And it just filled you with so many emotions, where it is just beautiful. It is incredible. The sound design, like I said, is impeccable. And yeah, it is another fantastic film. And coming in at number 3, we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And this is one of the best animated films I've ever seen. Every single frame of it is gorgeous. And it is just not only a beautiful story with constant emotion throughout, especially like there's like feels like a mini movie at the beginning of the movie with Gwen, like a 20-minute mini movie that just on its own is just a gorgeous movie. And then it just keeps going, and almost every second you're not bored. You don't want it to end. You're filled with so much emotion. And yes, I think what kind of holds this back is it doesn't feel like a completed movie, as this is very much a part 1. But I just thought that as a whole, it's just a beautiful film with hilarious comedy, great action, but just a beautiful dramatic center about almost being your own person. And coming in second place, we have Poor Things. This was just a fantastic movie where it is Frankenstein meets Barbie with a beautiful drama on top. And it is comedic. It is hilarious. It is beautiful. It is dramatic. It is horrific. And it all just blends together to make a fantastic film. And coming in at number 1, we have Killers of the Flower Moon. This is a 3.5-hour biopic about Osage murders that I knew nothing about, and it kept me engaged from beginning to end. The acting is incredible, especially from Lily Gladstone. I hope she gets the Oscar. This is a beautiful film, and this is definitely my favorite film of the year.